Good morning, all. Great to see so many friends and colleagues on the call today. Apologies to some of you. You may have seen a few of the slides in this deck, but hopefully today we'll put a bit of a different spin on it. So without further ado, move on. Why do we need so many systems? So first off, wee bit about me. As Mark said, I've been with itSMF quite a while. I'm regional chair for Scotland. I'm also, my day job is assistant director for service management at the University of Glasgow. I've been here 33 years this year. I started as a motor mechanic, so I've had quite an interesting career, and I think that will come up in some of the slides and some of the discussion as well. That people do tend to quite often stay in university, you know, whether they move from one university to another or move roles within a particular university. You know, there's a lot of movement within the sector, and say some of the slides will hopefully reflect some points around that. Some contact details there. I rarely stray onto social media, but it will ping me if someone says hello. So I'll move on. Very quick bit about the University of Glasgow. We were founded in 1451, so we've been around quite a while. Not as long as some people on the call. I see a friend from Oxford there. We are structured. You know, we have 35,000+ students, somewhere in that region. 10,000 staff. We are in the top 100 of the world's universities, and we're structured. All of those students and staff live within 4 colleges and our university services. So the colleges being our arts, medicine, life sciences, social sciences, and science and engineering. So that's how we all hang together. So what am I going to talk about here? Those who have seen any presentations I've done in the past know I'm passionate about enterprise service management, or certainly what we define as enterprise service management. So bringing disparate groups together, sharing best practice, sharing technology where possible. So, you know, looking at this presentation today and the sort of topics that we're all talking on, what we get from enterprise service management also has, or what we were looking for from enterprise service management also brings other benefits. So, you know, I'll go on and talk about, you know, what we get from going down that path, but I say on top of that, looking at it from a staff and a student experience point of view, a staff retention to it, you know, I think I might be out on a limb a bit there to say that a member of staff would stay just because we've done what we've done, but it does help, and say I'll elaborate a bit more on that as we go on. So looking at this, why do we need so many systems? Looking at the lines of business that we've brought together, the common bonds and linkages that hold them together, and that too often we dismiss, or we just don't seek them out. Look a bit at service management outside of IT, and then onto some shift left benefits and barriers. So this slide, again, some will have seen it before, but it gets bigger every time, and that's why I keep using it. When I first started this, I think we've probably had about 6 lines of business you know, that we were bringing together, you know, on one platform, rather than going out and buying a dedicated system for each line of business. Now, say probably 6 or 7 departments or lines of business to start off with. We've been at this a few years now, and you know, some extras have appeared on this particular slide of late, and others have really expanded their use. You know, they started off, you know, quite immature, in their service management journey, as I would call it, and that's what it is. And please do take that away, that service management is not just for IT. It's very much plays a part in all of these lines of business as well. So just to give you a flavour of some of the areas that we have brought together, say in some cases just sharing technology, but in other cases truly collaborating with each other, where processes flow across a number of different lines of business, of what you could call quite disparate lines of business, but bringing them, the glue that brings them together, the hub in the middle of the spokes, if I can put it that way. So add on to say some other areas. It was good hearing Roman and actually talking about, research is a big area for the University of Glasgow, and we do, is an area that we're seeing growth in service management, probably an area that traditionally didn't didn't get on that particular bus. It was people writing their own code and running their own little mini service desk, if I can put it that way, but bringing them together with the rest of us. So the point I want to make out of these two slides is that we have brought all of these people together on a platform. Now, that's not to say we don't have other systems. It's not a case of we have one system in the university and nothing else. But it is looking at the strengths of the systems that you use, and using that wisely, and where there are touch points, try and make them invisible and seamless to the end user. Using APIs, using integrations, using RPA, and I'll talk a bit more about these as we go on. So yeah, look, why can we all coexist? Because all of these things are pretty much the same from a service point of view, from a support point of view. There's a who, a why, a what, a where, a when, who's dealing with it, who's got the problem, where is it in its life cycle, reporting against it. So all of these things common across all of these different disciplines. So looking at the, what are the attributes that we share, and please, again, universities are terrible places for focusing on what makes departments different rather than focusing on what we do that we can all, we can learn from each other's best practice. So some other examples that we have built within one common platform. So HR, or people and organizational development, as they like to be called now, they've got similar challenges to IT in terms of visibility of work, of exception reporting, of just general case management. Where would IT be if we were scribbling things down on pads of paper, or living out of a shared mailbox as our only tool to keep us on the straight and narrow. So examples there, again, say categorization of good MI coming out of, and they get that for nothing. That's the sort of bringing them into a world where that we're used to, that we do these things and we've been doing them for a long time. We've had the benefits of ITIL, etc. Other frameworks are available, but we have that structure. We have that, say the framework to adopt and adapt. Other areas don't, and say that they can learn a lot from us. So even moving that forward into your self-service portal. The university has, well, it depends who you believe, but anything from high five figures of web pages to six figures of web pages. And people, staff and students, visitors, applicants, etc., needed to know where to go and find particular services. Why? Why do they need to know how we're structured? Give them one place to go to be able to ask questions, to request services, to report issues. Using again the common platform, knowledge base is second nature to us in IT. Use it in your other lines of business as well, using the same knowledge base. I'll talk a wee bit more about that as we go on. Inter-campus security, just some simple examples. Again, they want to differentiate between what was an intruder alarm and a fire alarm. What was a building has been left open, and we also we use this more and more in notifying areas. So again, there's efficiencies there in these lines of business. So they would normally have to compile a report and then send, building owner one a report to say one of your doors has been left open 3 times this month, or somebody has set the fire alarm off 6 times, whatever it is. All of this comes out without any effort now. We plummet into the system when a case is raised for building X about a door being left open. They're automatically notified, so that saves our security team time. So again, it's bringing these efficiencies that we know and love into other lines of business. Into our accommodation, our halls of residence, again bringing that discipline of reporting and also managing, making sure things aren't missed, because a lot of this, especially our campus security and accommodation, it's a 24/7 operation. People will work shifts. People will leave on a Monday morning but not be back on until a Friday. So it's making sure that you've got that continuity between your staff. And then, moving on into, again, the portal, using it in different ways. If someone's looking for a 3D printing, a printed circuit board, they go into to self-service and request it just as they would request, consumables or access to system X or Y, as we would do if they want to join sport. One thing we're doing recently with our estates, and using the technology that we have, for a change calendar, that we were able to repurpose that to give our estates colleagues a view of that this is all high risk activity. Someone's want to be up on a roof, they want to suppress the fire system, they've got they're doing welding or something like that. So they have a map of where all the when all of these events are taking place and in which buildings, etc. And that's leveraging the same technology, the same mechanism that we would use for change enablement. But other benefits here, we have one, as I say, from the end user point of view, from our customer point of view, they have one place to go. They don't need to know how we're structured to be able to consume our services, etc. And then from our support provider point of view, we have one platform. With it, I'm not saying there are it's the only game in town. There are other little bits and pieces going on elsewhere in the university, but this is linking in the region of, I think the last I looked, we have about between 1,500 and 2,000 analysts using the one system, and they're grouped into 350 to 400 support teams. So that gives you some scale. What it also brings is, why have multiple knowledge bases? Now, okay, technology allows us to aggregate. We can have technology in different places as long as we bring it together in in one view where possible. But this is where we learn from each other, and I'll very quickly talk about that as I move on into other slides. Of before, we used to do a lot of signposting, and sorry, I don't know the answer to that question. Whereas when we bring people together on a common platform, we also bring the knowledge and their collective wisdom together in one place, and we can all learn from that as an organisation. And okay, we are not all going to be subject matter experts in everyone else's business, but we can do a better job of knowing what other activities go on, and that improves the student and staff experience. Shift left, something that hopefully you're all aware of, and something that we certainly have been doing a lot in IT, but also introducing that as a concept to other lines of business, which is quite interesting. I think it took us quite a while to even get IT staff to buy into this, until at some point they all reckoned it was their idea anyway, so it got done, which I'm quite happy with. But yeah, just touching on that as a model, if you're not doing it, please do start thinking about it. But just to give some examples of this, I've updated this. So we've had over 37,000 automated requests, and by that I mean the person went into self-service, they asked for something, generally an IT service, access to something, software, whatever it may be, but they got it without any member of IT staff having to help them. That has saved, and these are conservative figures, very conservative figures, and this is as much how much it saved IT as much, adding in the saving to the customer, to whether it's academic X, student Y, administrator A, that they got what they wanted when they wanted it, and that could be different in different time zones, different times of the day, etc. Putting a loose figure on each one of these transactions, 130,000 plus at the moment. I'm calling it efficiency rather than savings because they're wooden dollars. We didn't pay off staff, and I'm very glad about that. But we have allowed staff to, get some time back to go on and do other bits and pieces that they need to. We've also moved the shift left into our help desk, our service desk. Call it what you will. And this is just allowing them to do things that they would traditionally have had to go to the server team or whatever, or some Azure admin or whatever, and just putting the difference between the Azure admin pressing the button and the service desk analyst pressing the button. And again, not taking into account the fact that we've saved the end user time here, because this will get the knowledge is with the service desk when they need it, and they can execute the task for the end user rather than escalating it where it will take longer. So start small, keep it going. Just another automation there. We had opt-in for MFA. We allowed staff and students to opt in. We've had well over 10,000 of these alone, and that's fully automated. It just worked. When we're doing, sorry, it's a bit of a jumble of a slide. One we're doing right now is with our admissions team, and we have a transformation team here at the university who manage the RPA side of things. Is that we're going to give applicants the ability to, rather than just filling in a form and submitting it and saying, where am I in this process, or when should I hear about this, or how is my application going? They'll be able to ask the question. They'll be able to get an answer from a library of FAQs in real time on the page. If that doesn't give them the answer they want, it will then hand over to RPA, which will go off and look up our student record system or whatever, find how much they owe or where they are in the process, or has the decision been made, etc. And we'll bring that back through the API into our service management tool, and they will get the answer when they want it, or within let's say a lot quicker than they would be getting the answer now. So that's a win for everyone there. Going back to what I was saying earlier about bringing teams together, I know that looks like an old cartwheel, but it's actually supposed to be a life belt. We were bad in the past, and I'm sure some of you are also guilty of signposting students rather than actually trying to help them. One, because it's sort of not so much it's not my job. I'm not doing it. It's just, well, I don't know the answers, and I'm not getting myself into a situation where I either give the wrong answer, or it's not my comfort zone. It's not my area of expertise. Where we've taken the view that we can learn a baseline of knowledge from some of our colleagues. So we've brought together our front of house teams, largely in IT, in library, and student services, to say learn a baseline of what each other do. We use the searchable knowledge base within our service management platform, so we don't turn students away. And if we do have to escalate to other areas, they go there, with the information that we've gleaned so far. So we're not just sending somebody cold away. We can hand off via the shared platform to each other. So a better experience all round. I'm conscious of time here, so I'll motor on. I suppose this is a bit in summary, but I talked earlier of staff move around. And if every time they move, they need to learn another system, then that's, there's an expense there. There's time there. There's an inefficiency. So if we have people moving from one line of business within the university to another, but they're then moving to the same platform. Now, there'll be some common look and feel there. The terminology may be different. We're not inflicting IT service management on our HR colleagues, etc. The system adapts to speak their language, but they're using a platform that is common to them. And so, as it says there, from a retraining point of view, I trust this system. It worked in the last place I worked, so I'm coming here. And in some cases, where someone is moving to another area where they haven't got on the bus, they pretty soon are singing the praises, and the team then does start to adopt. So great from our point of view. Free advertising. Other benefits for you. Now, I'm saying develop one platform, license one platform, train one platform. Yes, I accept you, as I've said already, you have other systems, but where possible, rather than having an HR case management system, an IT service management system, a student support platform, etc., and multiply that across, say we're in 20 plus lines of business, probably nearer 30 now. That's not an insignificant amount of effort. It's not an insignificant amount of money. So where possible, make it work for you. Other areas where you can you can leverage this, bringing people together again from different lines of business, to share their thoughts, to share their frustrations as well. And that's healthy. We learn where we can improve things. If people don't tell us they're spending the day kicking the furniture, then we're not going to know. And say sharing hints and tips, etc. I'm conscious of time, so I'm going to skip over, but just saying that again, you can have a common satisfaction index as well. So we're not doing things differently across these different areas. They're using, where possible, the same framework for gauging satisfaction. So we have a measure across different areas, apples with apples. Barriers, you will have barriers. Culture, hundreds of years of it in some cases. Yes, there are existing systems that, for either commercial reasons or operational reasons, you will stick with. But say where possible, if that's the case, integrate. Give people one place to go rather than 10 different places to go. And you will fight against legacy practices. People like what they know, and quite often will not want to change, sell the benefits, find the pain points. So that's me.